Hello, welcome back to English Listening Practice Daily. I am Julia. Let me ask you something right at the start. Think of one person in your life who truly knows you. Not just the version of you that you present to the world, but the actual you, with all your contradictions, your fears, your history, your strange habits, and your best qualities. How did that relationship begin? How did it grow? What has kept it strong? Today we are talking about friendship and relationships. And today's format is built around contrasts. Because relationships are full of contrasts. The beginning and the middle. The easy times and the hard times. The surface and the depth. And understanding those contrasts in English will give you a much richer ability to talk about the people who matter most to you. Let us start with the beginning of a friendship and contrast that with a deep, established friendship. When a friendship is new, the language tends to be exploratory. Tentative, meaning cautious and careful, because you are still figuring out who this person is and whether there is real connection. We have just started hanging out. To hang out with someone means to spend casual time together without a particular purpose. We met at work and hit it off straight away. To hit it off with someone means to immediately like each other and feel comfortable together. It was instant chemistry. We have only known each other a few months, but it feels like longer. I am not sure if we are proper friends yet or just friendly acquaintances. An acquaintance is someone you know but are not close to. A proper friend is someone you have a real, meaningful connection with. I am trying not to overwhelm her. I do not want to come on too strong. To come on too strong means to show too much enthusiasm too quickly in a new relationship, which can feel intense or uncomfortable to the other person. Now contrast that with the language of a deep, long-standing friendship. She has been my best friend for 15 years. I cannot imagine my life without her. We have been through everything together. This phrase suggests a long shared history of both good and difficult experiences. We can pick up exactly where we left off even if we have not spoken in months. This is a mark of a truly strong friendship. To pick up where you left off means to continue a conversation or relationship as if no time has passed. She knows me better than I know myself sometimes. I do not have to explain myself to him. He just gets it. To get something means to understand it without needing it explained. He just gets me means he understands you intuitively. We have had our ups and downs. Ups and downs means both good times and difficult times, peaks and valleys. She has seen me at my worst, and she is still here. This phrase suggests that someone has witnessed your most vulnerable, difficult, or unflattering moments and has not left. It is one of the highest forms of loyalty in friendship. Now let us contrast different types of relationships, because not all close relationships are the same. A childhood friend is someone you grew up with. The bond is often shaped by shared early experiences, shared memory. Even if you have both changed enormously, there is an intimacy that comes from having known each other when you were young and less formed. We grew up on the same street. We were inseparable as kids. I reconnected with an old school friend recently. It was like no time had passed. A work friend is someone you became close with through your professional environment. This relationship has specific qualities. It exists partly within a structured context, which means there can be a depth, but also a distance. We are really close at work, but I am not sure we would have the same connection outside of it. We became friends through a work project, and then the friendship outlasted the job. A chosen family friend is someone who has become so close that the relationship resembles family. These friendships often develop in adulthood, particularly among people who have moved away from their original families or who have complicated family situations. She is not family by blood, but she is completely family to me. He is the brother I never had. Now let us contrast the easy and the difficult parts of friendship, because genuine friendships are not just warmth and laughter. The easy parts: shared laughter, the comfort of someone who knows your history, the feeling of being understood without having to over-explain, the reliability of a person you know will answer when you call. The difficult parts: conflict, misunderstandings, growing apart, different life stages creating distance, the effort required to maintain connection when life gets busy. Here are phrases for the difficult side of friendship. We drifted apart after university. To drift apart means to gradually lose closeness through lack of contact or changing circumstances rather than through any single event or argument. We had a falling out over something that seems small in retrospect. A falling out is a disagreement or conflict that damages a relationship. In retrospect means looking back on it now. I think we want different things from the friendship at this point in our lives. She has been going through a lot, and I do not always know how to be there for her in the right way. I sometimes feel like the friendship is a bit one-sided. A one-sided relationship is one where one person puts in significantly more effort, care, or time than the other. I had to distance myself for my own well-being. To distance yourself from someone means to create space between you and them, reducing contact and emotional involvement. We managed to talk it through and work things out. To talk something through means to discuss a problem openly until you reach understanding or resolution. It was a difficult conversation, but it needed to happen. These phrases are honest and real. They reflect the complexity of maintaining relationships over time, which is one of the most human of all experiences. Now let us contrast the language of romantic relationships with the language of platonic friendship, because while there is a lot of overlap, there are also distinct vocabulary areas. Romantic relationships have their own vocabulary arc, from the beginning to the established to the difficult. At the beginning, we started seeing each other. To see someone in this context means to date them, to be in the early stage of a romantic relationship. We have been dating for about 3 months. We are exclusive. We decided not to date other people. We made it official. This informal phrase means you have both agreed you are in a committed relationship. As things develop, we moved in together last year. We have been together for 5 years now. We got engaged. When things become difficult, we have been going through a rough patch. A rough patch is a difficult period in a relationship. We are working on things. We are trying to improve and repair the relationship. We separated. To separate means to stop living together and end the relationship, often as a step toward divorce. We are better as friends. A phrase used when a romantic relationship has ended, but the people involved still care about each other and maintain a friendship. Now contrast language around family relationships, because these relationships have their own distinct tone in English. My parents and I have a complicated relationship. Complicated is a very useful and honest word for relationships that have both love and difficulty in them. I am really close with my sister. We talk every day. My brother and I are very different people, but we love each other. I have a difficult relationship with my father. We see things very differently. My grandparents and I have always had a special bond. A bond is a close connection between people. Now let us look at some essential vocabulary for talking about relationships in any context. Trust, the foundation of any close relationship. Trust means believing that someone is reliable, honest, and has your best interests at heart. Loyalty. Being loyal means standing by someone through difficulties, not abandoning them when things get hard, and not betraying their confidence. Reciprocity. The quality of a relationship where both people give and take equally. A relationship with reciprocity is balanced. One without it can feel draining for the person who gives more. Vulnerability. Allowing yourself to be seen honestly, including your fears and weaknesses. True closeness requires vulnerability from both people. Communication. The ongoing exchange of thoughts, feelings, and needs. Poor communication is often cited as the root cause of relationship difficulties. Boundaries. The limits that define what you are and are not comfortable within a relationship. Healthy relationships involve both people respecting each other's boundaries. Support. Being there for someone when they need you. Emotional support means listening and showing empathy. Practical support means helping with actual tasks and responsibilities. Here are some very natural conversational phrases using this vocabulary. I think trust is the most important thing in any relationship. It takes time to build trust, but only a moment to break it. I have always valued loyalty above almost everything else in a friendship. I am working on being more vulnerable. It does not come naturally to me. Communication is something we are genuinely getting better at as a couple. I have had to set some boundaries in that relationship, and it has actually made things much healthier. Having good people around you makes every difficulty more manageable. To close, I want to share a thought about what makes relationships last. I think the relationships that last, whether friendships or romantic partnerships, are the ones where both people are willing to do something quite simple and quite hard at the same time, which is to keep choosing each other. Not just in the exciting beginning when everything is new, but in the ordinary middle when the novelty has worn off and the routines have set in, and in the difficult moments when staying feels harder than leaving. Relationships are not static. They require ongoing investment and intention. The people who understand this and who are willing to put in that effort tend to have the richest connections in their lives. And being able to talk about all of this, to articulate what you value, what you have experienced, and what you hope for in English or in any language is one of the deepest forms of communication there is. I am Julia. Thank you for being here. This is English Listening Practice Daily. See you next time. Now I want to give you an extended vocabulary toolkit for talking about relationships in English, because the more specific your language is, the more clearly you can express the depth and complexity of the connections in your life. Let us look at adjectives that describe relationships and the people in them. Supportive. A supportive person is there for you when you need them, encourages you, and helps you through difficult times. She has always been incredibly supportive, especially during the hard times. Reliable. A reliable person does what they say they will do. They show up. They follow through. He is one of the most reliable people I know. If he says he will be there, he will be there. Genuine. A genuine person is honest and authentic. They do not put on a performance. She is so genuine. What you see is what you get. Empathetic. A person who is empathetic is able to understand and share the feelings of another person. He is so empathetic. He always seems to know how I am feeling without me having to say it. Understanding. similar to empathetic but with a slightly broader meaning. Understanding in a relationship means accepting someone for who they are, including their flaws and limitations. My friends have always been very understanding when I go through difficult periods. Generous. Giving freely, not just with money, but with time, energy, and attention. She is one of the most generous people I have ever met. Always the first to help. Funny. Humor is one of the most commonly cited qualities in close friendships. He makes me laugh like nobody else. Honest. Being truthful, even when the truth is difficult to hear. She tells me what I need to hear, not just what I want to hear. I really value that. Now let us look at phrases for describing how a relationship makes you feel. She brings out the best in me. This is a wonderful phrase meaning someone's presence or influence helps you be a better version of yourself. He makes me feel completely accepted. To feel accepted means to feel that you are welcome and valued for who you are. I can completely be myself around her. No pretending. No performance. He challenges me in ways that help me grow. She keeps me grounded. To keep someone grounded means to help them stay connected to reality, to not lose perspective. I feel lighter after talking to him. Problems feel more manageable. She is someone I can call at 3 in the morning and she would answer. The 3 in the morning test is an informal way of describing someone who is unconditionally there for you. Now let us look at phrases for how relationships change over time. We grew apart. Used when two people drift in different directions through natural life changes rather than conflict. We grew closer through a difficult experience. That period really tested our friendship, and it made it stronger. I think we both needed some space for a while, and it actually helped. I realized she was not as much of a positive influence in my life as I had thought. I outgrew that friendship. To outgrow a relationship means you have changed enough that the connection no longer fits who you have become. I think some friendships are seasonal. They're important for a period of your life, and then it is okay to let them go. This is a mature and compassionate view of friendship. Not all friendships are meant to last forever, and that is okay. Here are some phrases specifically useful for talking about making and keeping friends as an adult, because this is something many people find genuinely difficult. Making friends as an adult is harder than it looks. You do not have the built-in structures of school or university. I find it hard to meet people now that I am not in education. I met a lot of my current friends through shared activities or hobbies. I think the key to making friends as an adult is consistency. Showing up regularly and being genuinely interested in the other person. I am quite introverted, so it takes more effort for me to initiate social contact. Introverted means preferring quieter, less socially intensive situations and needing alone time to recharge. The opposite is extroverted. I have found that quality matters more than quantity when it comes to friendships. Having a few deep connections is more fulfilling than having many shallow ones. One final thought. The people you choose to surround yourself with shape you, not just in obvious ways, but in quiet, daily ways. They influence how you see yourself, what you believe is possible, what standards you hold yourself to, how you handle difficulty. Choosing your friendships intentionally, asking yourself not just do I enjoy this person's company, but do I grow around them? Do I feel good about who I am when I am with them is one of the most important decisions you make. And being able to talk about those relationships enrich. Precise English is not just a language skill. It is a life skill. Thank you for listening. I am Julia. This is English Listening Practice Daily. See you in the next episode.